Hello everybody, I'm Hammer from the Hammer Game Channel. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 and to Red World that has recently, when I say recently, a few months ago I think now, got an update, a new one, which has given a few nations some trees, with Spain and Cuba being I think the main ones. I think there might be someone else in there as well, but today obviously we're playing as Cuba, and yes, we are going to be getting Mr. Castro back as leader, and we'll see what we're able to do with him in power. So let's hop on in. So here we are, the Republic of Cuba, and it looks like we've got a relatively decent sized army for kicking things off. We do have a navy as well, which is handy. We are currently ruled by Raul Castro, who is the brother of former President Fidel Castro, and yes, we are communist right now. And we do have 4 national spirits. We have under-industrialised economy, which is not great. The consumer goods negative's handy, but the rest is awful. The People's Partner, which has given us a nice division attack and defence bonuses, as well as construction speed for military factories. We then have the Cuban Model, which has given us some bonuses, and the ComCon member, which is bringing down production efficiency growth, but putting up our factory output by 15%, which is pretty nice. And here is the focus tree for Cuba. It's a pretty decent size. We are mainly going to be focusing on this part of the tree here. Fidel returns, and we have a nice wee push down there to nuclear technology. The main question I have to answer is, how do we get him? Who is El Cabro? Because it looks like we need to put him in power. Well, we've got 27 divisions in our army. The only issue is we have 2 military factories to create all the equipment for those. Well, we've got a bit of a situation ongoing right now. A ferry was hijacked in Havana Harbour, which has now led to the Revolutionary Navy blockading it to prevent this ferry from leaving, as there is armed combatants on board who are issuing demands that they get given 10 million convertible Soviet rubles and safe passage to Lima in Peru. This has of course been rejected by the president. So the situation is over. The ferry was let through the blockade after 3 days, and a detachment of 12 men were able to secretly and stealthily get on board, and they were spotted, and all of the armed combatants on board unalived themselves rather than being captured. So the situation is now over, but who was behind it? We don't know. Well, things are not getting any better for us. A group of armed combatants has just entered into the Biamo PCC headquarters and caused a bit of a situation there that has ended up in a firefight. So an emergency meeting has just taken place in the Council of Ministers to debate the response to the unsettling wave of issues that have plagued the nation. It has been suggested that the American Republic is behind the issues we've been having, and there is the plan to completely surround Guantanamo Bay, which they still control. We could opt not to do that, and for us to do a little bit more investigation, because we don't actually have any decisive evidence that suggests the American Republic's behind it, so us surrounding Guantanamo Bay could cause some issues, and needlessly provoking the American Republic, which we don't really want to do if we don't need to. So I think we'll investigate first. So we just found an abandoned hideout near El Plantano, which has various boxes of ammunition, mostly calibers that are used by the Americans, and there's been various maps scattered across various desks as well, detailing positions for the commencement of the issues we've had and entry points to maximise their abilities. Obviously they caused the most damage to us, so we've secured that evidence, and we're now going to probably have another meeting with the Council of Ministers. So it's just been announced that it's believed that whoever is responsible for our recent issues has been a well-coordinated, well-funded and capable force that's organised across the nation. So we do get a new national spirit, because there is the possibility there is going to be further issues. Sadly, even though we have put our best efforts forward to try and successfully defend the people, which we have managed to do so to a degree, they still are very, very concerned for public security, so we're losing a little bit of support there. Well, as predicted, something else has happened. The San Julian Air Base has been attacked by mortars, which obviously the government did not expect or anticipate that the enemies would have access to heavy ordnance, such as mortars. So yeah, there's been a few passings and some damage caused, and we're being kind of ushered to place Pinar del Rio under lockdown. But I think we're going to go for the second option. We can't risk a panic. So Cam has apparently returned to the west. There's been no further issues, even though we've remained on high alert and strengthened patrols in Pinar del Rio. So the Vice President has self-appointed himself a spokesperson for the people and the Council of Ministers, and he is calling for greater measures to be put in place to help prevent against these sort of issues happening in the future. The people of Camagay, if I pronounced that correctly, woke up to the sounds of gunfire and police sirens today as a group of enemies have breached the provincial hospital to the parking lot and taken an entire wing under their control. The army has arrived quickly, aided by the local police forces, to evacuate as many people, patients and staff members as possible. There's still hundreds trapped inside awaiting rescue. The enemies have actually issued a list of demands to the government stating that all PCC members in both Castros must be immediately tried for high treason and allow for a transitional government that would, outlaw quite a few things. Stating that the demands must be met within 24 hours or they'll start unaliving people at random. Let's just send in the army, actually. So our decision to have the army storm the hospital has not went well at all. Let's just say there's a lot of devastation being caused as a result of this action. Wow, okay, the hardliners have just came straight on in and demanding martial law, which the president is not going to do at all. So a nationwide situation is just unfolded now, with multiple cities and places being rocked by a series of ongoing issues, which has kind of left the Cuban people demanding all but full mobilisation to solve the crisis. So as the nation continues to heal from the carnage and destruction of the last few days, the party is even more so divided, and there is still a large majority of it wanting us to declare martial law. But we're going to take the first option. We still have this under control. So the Vice President just came out and stated that the President doesn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation and is neglecting his duties pretty much and the security of the revolution and the people. This has been met with a shocking degree of applause from the National Assembly, so it looks like the President could be in trouble here. So the GID has made a very, very important discovery. They have no doubt now that the American Republic is involved in the ongoing situation in the nation. There has been documents listing contacts with the CIA, which obviously is a massive alarm bell for us that the Americans are involved. And there's El Cabro being mentioned for the first time. Catastrophe has struck the nation. The president was within an airplane flying to Santiago de Cuba when contact was lost with the plane, and they hoped that they would be able to find it, but sadly only a wreckage was found. So the president is dead. So the National Assembly has picked a new president. And that president is our former president, Fidel Castro. He is back, and yes, he will lead us out of this terrible, terrible situation we're currently finding ourselves in. And there he is, Fidel Castro is back. So millions of Cubans have crowded in Havana and around their televisions across the country as Fidel Castro makes his first speech since returning to presidency. He was visibly upset. Of course he would be. He's grieving the loss of his brother, and he has proclaimed with fire and fury that he is going to get revenge and that the enemies are going to face retribution for their actions. And with that, the focus tree route has opened up, so it's time to uncover El Cabro. So the GID has continued to work in the background when everything else has been ongoing, and they believe they're on the trail of several major hideouts in western Cuba. And now we have two plans here. We can take the first plan, which is the president's, which will be a strong show of military force, not showing an inch of mercy to the enemy. Abelardo Colom Ibarra, if I pronounced that correctly, has been a different proposition. He agrees with the president's goals, but he argues that they should take a slower approach, stating that they don't want to strike immediately because they might risk the remainder of the organisation going underground. They should wait until they have enough to just completely take them out forever. And I think I am going to go with Ibarra's plan here. And Jeb Bush has just been elected to to take over the American Republic. Shame he's not going to see his days out in that position, because we are going to strike hard at some point, I think. Jeremy Corbyn just took over Britain. He is now in power. Right, I believe the next focus puts us at war with the American Republic, but I don't think we're quite ready for that at this moment in time. Like, we do get some bonuses and everything, but I don't know. To be fair, actually, we could probably just take them down. Look at the negatives they're getting. For 2,000 days as well. Maybe we'll just wait a little bit longer to kind of ready ourselves for that, because it's a bit of a commitment. Actually, we're going in. 50,000 manpower coming in. The reservists have been called up. Oh, some impromptu peace protests have just been quashed across Cuban cities. Yeah, we're going to war. There's no peace here. Operation Venganza. And it looks like we're trying to find some old Soviet nuclear missiles. And the president is now inspecting the troops as preparations for the operation continue. So after all of our preparations, it has been decided that the operation is to be called off. What? Wait, our tree has now changed. Rectify the great injustices. Despite having the best intentions, it has dawned on Fidel that huge mistakes had been committed throughout the revolutionary period, mistakes which have harmed many innocent Cubans. Those errors must be corrected and amends must be made for our shortcomings, so that we may at last continue the emancipatory task of the revolution. We cannot allow anything else. So the president has just decreed an immediate end to martial law. And what I've also noticed is, if we go down this middle route, we can propose an Antillean federation, which would be pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and deepen ties with Venezuela now. So the Politburo is worrying that the government is currently making itself look weak in the eyes of the people and conceding to demands of various opposition forces. Carlos Lange Davila has quickly come to the president's defence, noting that the decisive destruction of the army of the Lord had proven the opposite. The president, deep in thought of much of the debate, likewise remarked that the effective moves of the revolutionary armed forces was sufficient to ward off the American Republic, dissuading them from any further offensives against the nation. He also argued that his recent policies would only improve the well-being of the Cuban people, so if that made the government look weak, then that would be worth the cost. So the Papal States are here. Pius XIII has taken control of the nation. Oh, there's been a revolt in the American People's Republic. So we have Bernie Sanders against the Central Committee. Right, let us go ahead and declare war on the Dominican Republic. Okay, we have landed. Let me send in more troops. Right, we're going to do another naval invasion now, just to get behind them, because I think the majority of them will be focusing on these troops that are sitting in that port. Oh well, that's pretty much worked how I intended it to. I just wanted to put pressure on the capital from another direction. Yeah, I think this is over for them now. Yep, right, we've got a few more focuses to do, then we can propose the Antillean Federation, which I'm really hoping everyone's going to agree to. Right, we've just helped the Jamaican educational sector, so we'll go ahead now and join the Caribbean community, also the Antillean dictatorships, and we'll do some infrastructure work in the Antillean area as well. Both of these are going to be very quick, because neither of them actually have divisions. Oh, we cancelled that focus because we went to war, it's fine. It's going to be, oh no! There is divisions. Well, St. Lucia's gone. Okay, they're both gone. Right, let us help develop the Antillean infrastructure now. Right, we'll try our luck. Let's propose an Antillean Federation. Oh, I didn't realise we were looking to liberate Puerto Rico. Yeah, the Bahamas has rebuffed the Caribbean unity. But the Dominican DR has committed to Antillean unity. So has Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago has rebuffed it. Jamaica commits. I think overall we done okay. I think there's 11 in total and we got 8. Right, I think before we go any further actually with the whole Antillean side of things, because I don't know how we're going to get Puerto Rico back if it's not via means of force. So we'll work a wee bit through the whole redemption arc here for the revolution. Form a broad progressive alliance. So Castro is going to meet with opposition leaders, reaching out to those in the opposition that wish to talk and start arduous walks towards understanding. The atmosphere was tense, and mistrust towards the proposal was almost universal, with few things able to be agreed upon, and a large amount of time taken up by various challenges to the president's rule issued by the opposition leaders. Nevertheless, he was able to get their time of day and ended the meeting by stating that this would hopefully be but the first of many dialogues. So there's murmurs in the party on what was the purpose of the president's meeting with the oppositions. On one hand, they think the meeting was meant to be a signal, to signal a change in the party towards the various opposition groups, or was the meeting merely meant to ease the domestic tension between the government and the opposition groups? So the president has just given the National Centre for Sex Education a state sanction to initiate a nationwide educational campaign for the Cuban people on the rights and histories of their LGBT countrymen throughout history, both the good and the bad sides. They've embraced the mission with vigour, and they're led by Fidel's own niece, who's a long-time champion of LGBT rights. And the move's been received warmly by the country's LGBT community, who have once again thanked the government for its support over the years and warmly accepted Castro's apology. So the Council of Ministers is to evaluate Operation Venganza. However, the president was never made aware of this, and he had attempted to talk with multiple of his ministers but gotten little out of most other than an apparent unstated agreement that this needs to happen, and confusion from a small minority of the members who seem to be as much in the dark as their president. So the president is worried that the party might be turning against him, and he's now considering his options and hope that they will never be necessary to take. Fidel has been detained at the Council of Ministers meeting. It's high time for a dignified retirement. We now have Jose Ventura as our leader now. Well, I wasn't expecting this. Protests have rocked the nation due to the announcement that Fidel Castro has stepped down. They're not happy, and they want to hear from him, and they want him to be reinstated immediately. So a newspaper has went against the government and has printed an appeal from Fidel Castro, who is calling on the people of the nation to stand up for everything they have gained since 1959. A thinly veiled call for revolution anew. The government has quickly sent in the military to shut down the printing presses at this newspaper, but they did face unexpected resistance from the Young Communist League. So protests are intensifying across the nation, and a massive protest is converging on Havana. Oh my days, to the cheers of thousands, Castro has been released from house arrest at his home on the outskirts of Havana. The National Assembly for People's Power unanimously votes to restore Castro to the presidency. Oh, excellent. Fidel surrounds himself with people loyal to the ideals of the Cuban Revolution. Alright, so I'm assuming our cabinet's probably going to change quite significantly. And there he is, he's back, and he's looking very happy to be here. So there's been a purge in the Cuban Communist Party. All members of the party that were sympathetic with Jose Ventura have been expelled. They have not been purged the usual way, I'd like to point out. They have not been unalived. They have just been put on indefinite house arrest from the looks of things. Thing is, we could maybe join the Warsaw Pact and get the Soviets to help us take down the American Republic. It could be an interesting move, to be honest. Wow, a bit of a situation developing in India here. There's a civil war ongoing. A return to socialist interventionism. A lot of people are going to be offered medical assistance from us, which is interesting. Our max volunteer force is going up by 6 as well. Oh, there we go, a bigger war is kicked off in America now. We could go ahead and back the Commonwealth. Yeah, peacekeeping force. So we're going to be able to send 8. The only issue is I've modified our troops and we don't have enough equipment for everybody currently. Or you're not going to do what I think you're going to do and just declare war on everybody? Surely not. I don't think the Commonwealth is going to survive now. Well, it's okay. Hopefully the APR has a good game. They're communists, so we are more aligned with them anyways. We can hopefully utilise them doing well and taking down the American Republic to seize Guantanamo Bay. We're not fully equipped, but I'm going to send 8 divisions as a peacekeeping force to the APR. We're not even going to make it there. They've already won the first war. What? Sorry. The Pope's done what now? Oh my days, there's a faction formed. Like, what on earth? I don't think they're winning anything. I don't think... The Pope has a strong army, but I don't think he's going to be able to take down the entire Warsaw Pact. Do you know what? The Commonwealth's actually doing a bit better than I was anticipating. Maybe I should support the Commonwealth. They're actually not doing as bad as I thought they would. Yeah, the Pope has lost it, I think. Surely he's not going to declare war on China as well. Or me, actually. Well, they've already lost Venice, so, yeah, I don't think they're going to be winning. Well, the Pope's gone already. He is no more. And that is some hideous borders. Did I see you on the move again? I did see you on the move. Arizona's going now. Can the Commonwealth stop declaring war on people? Oh my days, they're literally at war with everybody except from the American People's Republics. I have a funny feeling we're probably going to end up having elections by the end of this. Infantry genius, immediately, yes. Right, the Great Lakes are definitely on their way out, that's for sure. See if the American Republic also ends up war with the Union. We're going to declare war on the American Republic. That's what we're going to do. Because I think that's probably our best time to get Guantanamo Bay back. Right, Montana's gone. Some fairly nice borders. If West Dakota just went to the Commonwealth, that would have looked nicer. So what's the numbers looking like? 53. Oh yeah, they're losing in terms of numbers. I think we actually get ready to strike a blow, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, we're still kind of short of equipment, but we've got guns. Guns is what matters. The only issue we have is naval supremacy. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that with the tiny fleet we have. Oh, their navy's not that great, actually. Cuba is in a much better place than it has been ever before, despite all adversity. Now he can finally be at ease with himself, and it can be safely asserted, vas bien Fidel. I'm guessing he's going to finally fully retire. Visiting Camilo again, Fidel certainly seemed older and more worn, but knocking on the door of his old friend's house, he was also much more at ease than he had been last time. Finally, after the conversation had circled the topic for multiple hours, Fidel asked the question he had meant to ask all along, and as Camilo sat and listened to his friend with a smile on his lips, the only answer he could give to the question whether he had done right by the Cuban people was never in doubt. Oh well, that is that part of the tree done. To be honest, I think this way is a lot more beneficial to us. Yes, industrial society, please. Geez, what seemed like an eternity. India has finally dealt with their civil war issue. Okay, our time for war is here. So the expansion of the oil is done for right now. We need the matter of Puerto Rico because they're all fighting now. Are we ready? I don't know, but it's as good a time as ever to strike. The matter of liberating Puerto Rico. Well, we're going to go for the first option. It's a bit crazy, but it's the best time to do this. You know what's even nicer to see? All of our friends have joined us. Not that they're really going to make much of a difference themselves, but they have. Following a fierce and hard-fought campaign, the United Forces of the Antilles have secured historic victory in Puerto Rico, successfully seizing control of San Juan and hoisting the flag of the Caribbean unity above the Casa de las Leyes. Why not? We didn't even do anything, we'll just take the peace. Well, they did it. They gave us Puerto Rico. With the American Republic's withdrawal from Puerto Rico, following an embarrassing military defeat at the hands of our United Caribbean Alliance, peace has finally been restored to our region, and the long-sought independence of the island, along with the return of Guantanamo Bay, has at last been realised. Well, we don't need to worry about invading America now. What we will do, though, is once our volunteers return, we will send them to the Union of American People's Republic and help them out. Why do I feel like that uprising is much stronger than the last time? Let us just meander on to Texas. American Republic's gone. Right, just have to help the Union defeat the Commonwealth now. Well, we've already reclaimed Guantanamo Bay, so yeah, we'll take it again. Yeah, I forgot the Soviets got quite a few puppets with the collapse of the Papal States. Well, there we go. The Antillean Federation is here. Right, well, that's that part of the tree done. As the Antillean Federation officially takes shape, question emerges about the future of the Caribbean integration, specifically concerning nations that have remained outside the core intergovernmental frameworks. Among them are Guyana and Belize, nations with distinct ties to Caribbean culture. Yeah, we can't ignore those vital Caribbean nations. Oh, the Union of Guyana has joined the Antillean Federation. Belize, however, is rejected. Well, I'm justifying on them anyways. There was a bit of an encirclement in Miami, and it's ours. And thankfully we've just finished doing that, because we're going to war, which means my volunteers will be leaving. I don't really anticipate this being too hard at all. Welcome Haiti to the glorious faction. Or actually, nation. Right, who is next? Why does it look like this falling apart a little bit over here in America? Also, noticed, can't go into Guatemala because they're a Soviet puppet. Although I might have to get involved in America at this rate. Yeah, let's work on these three, because then we get industrialised economy rather than under-industrialised one. Right, Belize, it's time to be invaded, I'm afraid. This really shouldn't be difficult for us. Nope, it will not be. We've landed either side of their one division that exists, I believe. Yep, there we go. Welcome. Hopefully we just get a core in this. Or maybe I just let the Commonwealth win. We don't really care about America at this point. We don't need to be worried about them. Have Belize become a puppet? I thought we would just get the option to core it. Right, we're almost ready to take down the Bahamas. Right, those naval invasions are ready, so that only means one thing. Goodbye, Bahamas. Well, that was nice and easy. Well, there it is. Industrialising economy. Right, we're not quite ready for the naval invasion because I forgot to put all the guys on the naval invasion, so we're going to declare war, but we won't be invading them anytime soon. We still need to wait a bit of time. I think actually what we need to do as well is we need to support our invasion over here. Got some funky borders over here. Their capital's very close to falling, the Union that is. Los Angeles is only 2 tiles away from Commonwealth troops. Right, I just want that to go as soon as it's ready. Right, time to obtain our modernised rural economy, which will finish off the kind of industry tree as well. That, however, is not great. Yes?
That, however, is not great.
Are you just really wanting to have a cameo in this?
I don't know why we're providing medical assistance to everyone.
I don't even know what to say. Did I really sound like that?
Yeah.
Oh look, do you want to make a comment on our new agricultural mechanisation being completed?
Cool tractors.
Look at this. It's...
Who is this, Papa John?
No, it's Fidel Castro.
Oh, he looks...
Papa John.
He looks nice.
He looks nice.
No, he looks kind. He's got kind eyes.
Right, with Panama now secured, we will kind of get ourselves kind of sorted for the invasion of Venezuela. No, we won't, because we're justifying on you first, and we're very close to being finished. Right, so that's all them, and we'll move the divisions that are over here on the border with Venezuela to the border of Panama. And in that way we'll have a 2-front war going. And the option for us to join the Warsaw Pact is also available as well, which is pretty handy. We could still do our own thing and create the non-alignment pact. Oh dear, the Union. They had such a promising start. Right, it is finished. We're just going to hold off just a little bit longer. They do have tanks, which I'm hoping will not absolutely blitz through my men. Obviously we do have less divisions potentially than them, but I'm hoping our 2-front attack will work quite well. Right, they prevented our landing in the port. Okay, we managed to win that, but realistically, if we can land there and push across, all them divisions are cut off. And we do have control of the canal, which does mean I can just swoop the navy right through. Yeah, America's almost whole as well. They might have a war with Mexico, potentially. Well, the Union American People's Republic is, it's gone. The Commonwealth has emerged victorious. Oh, their new capital's down there, are you kidding? Where am I landing again? Right, we'll change it up, we'll just land straight in the capital. Oh, nice, nice, naval invasion right into the capital did the job. Right, anyways, our justification on Venezuela is done, so, yeah, let's do this. And with all 18 divisions landed, we're in a very, very good position. Tragedy has struck the country, as Vice President Carlos Lage Davila has, in a public television broadcast, announced the death of the president, Fidel Castro. And there goes Venezuela, much easier than I was anticipating. Continuity, renewal, modernisation. Oh my days, we can have the Liberals take over. Oh, I don't know if I want that. Moderate Socialist? Just thinking, because what does that kind of open up for us faction-wise? Oh, we could do something really cursed here, I think. Because we're not going to be able to do that. That doesn't matter anyways, because the Moscow Accord does not exist. The Russian Republic's not here. But that could be cursed as hell. You know what? Let's go with the Liberals. Well, we've got Antonio, who was mentioned in a few of the events earlier now, leading us, and yes, we are now the Antillean Federation, and the Liberal Union is in power. Oh no. Canada might be in trouble here, because Hawaii is at war with the Commonwealth. Canada does have a lot of divisions. Canada, we might be coming to save you. In a very shocking twist of events here. Wait, what? No, you signed a peace deal? Oh, you're kidding me. Well, do you know what's going to be funny then? I'm going to drag them back into a war with the Americans. That's exactly what we're going to do here. Hello, give me my core territory back, please. So we've been accepted into the Democratic League. Canada's let us in. Oh, the Iberian Union's just chosen death. Right, gents, we are going to war. This is the last war. The war to end all wars, for us anyways. I know there's obviously, Europe is still covered in chaos. Started off a lot more promising than I was anticipating. Maybe a pocket of troops going to be falling to us immediately. Yeah, that's an absolutely insane encirclement there. Canada is struggling over there, but it's going to be a supply issue. We're attacking their capital and taking their capital. Canada's looking like it's seen better days. How are they doing, actually? They're the only major. That's a little bit concerning, because if they die, we all die. Please tell me the majority of the Canadian army is north over here. There's quite a few divisions up there. New Orleans is fallen. If this starts to fall over here, we need to move. They've just got a great encirclement. Just focus primarily on there. Nope, that's not what I want either. Since when was there so much impassable terrain in America? We've done it. They're gone. Okay, America looks a little bit interesting now. The Union of the Heartlands is the Canadian puppet, so Hillary controls quite a significant amount of land. Arizona's my puppet. Mexico got Rio Grande back, which, yeah, it looks a bit interesting. You may notice the Confederate States of America's here. Yeah, I don't know why we done that, but we have. We have Illinois, the Great Lakes Republic, and also the American Commonwealth. So there's the Democratic League's definitely a lot stronger, and Spain does look like they're starting to lose to the Warsaw Pact. But anyways, I think I'm gonna leave that there. So thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, because actually Cuba is really good fun in this mod. I thoroughly enjoyed this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do take care. Cheer bye. There now.